We love to see it.
All right, so we are officially recording Polo. You requested a live DR after tonight's events. We revealed the mental, physical, and social results as well as the average. You won in both the physical and the social competition and are now the team captain of currently Team Magenta, name still pending. How are you feeling?
I feel both really good and really bad because I'm very competitive, so it's not like me to like hold back when it comes to competitions like this. Like maybe people did because um, winning and it being public, especially for I think the social category, can potentially put a target on your back. But I think I did put in work to make like connections, and I wasn't surprised that I ranked high because some of the people that I've been talking to told me that they would. But I feel good. Like this is like the first competition of the entire season. We haven't even done an HOH yet. Um, so I feel like it's good. And then literally I got all most of the people that I wanted on my team with me or the ones that I wanted to work with. I feel like the nature of somebody like I guess whoever wins, their team is safe, and I feel like I got some pretty strong competitors. Allison is probably my number one ally in the game, and I picked second, and I tried to make it not obvious that I desperately wanted her on my team. And so I was like, oh, I'll just pick who's ever highest, and it was conveniently her. I got Angelica, who I'm close with, and then Colin, who I'm close with. I literally got like all three of my closest people, so it feels good. I am concerned that it will put a target on my back. Maybe people are like, "Oh yeah, like Polo won the social thing by a big margin. Like, is he telling you that you're his number one?" And that might screw me up. But ultimately, it's a good feeling. I'm just gonna let myself celebrate and worry about how it's gonna look in the future.
Awesome. So we run over the results not only for you, but for your fellow 14 house guests as well. Were there any results that you were surprised by, not surprised by, anything that stuck out to you?
I was not surprised by Sim ranking the lowest. I actually ranked him pretty high because I thought that he was a safe bet of not he hasn't been connecting with people. I think he's been busy with school, and so I kind of assumed that he would be pretty low on the social gear. I didn't know that he would. I didn't know so many people would not submit anything. I think that was pretty surprising. So it shows that the bar isn't very high. Like maybe I should like check my ego for winning some things because people weren't exactly doing their best. But let me look at the results right quick. Hold up. Eric killed it, and I know that Eric is good at these games, so that doesn't really surprise me. But I think I'm good with Eric, so I think it's okay that I'm very grateful that he got like the number one spot overall. Like he did well in all three, and I did well in two. Other than that, Allison ate like she said she would, but I was very grateful that she wasn't a captain because then we couldn't be together. Other than that, nothing really stuck out too much. I wish I toned it down on the physical because I didn't think when I thought I was gonna go for 25 minutes. That was my goal before I actually tried it and realized how hard it was. So I thought that somebody would do better. Like I thought like three people would do better than me, but it was a nice surprise that they didn't.
So on top of the team twist, there's also the leaderboard defector twist, where you know at the jury phase, whichever team has the highest amount of points will compete for the padlock and whatever is stored in there, as well as if the two nominees are on separate teams, and whoever stays gets the choice of either staying on their own team or switching to a new team. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, it's kind of nerve-wracking because like whoever's HOH and then whoever like if I'm HOH and I put up somebody who doesn't go home. Wait, so if I'm HOH, can I only put up people from the two other teams, or can I put up any other two people in the game?
If you win HOH, your entire team is safe.
I like that. Okay. So I think this works well because like there's not a case where like I would pick somebody and then they didn't get evicted and then they like jump ship, they mutiny. So I think that works pretty well. Um, Let me think. What was the first part you said again about the padlock? How does that work again?
So once we hit jury, we whatever the teams are at that point, whichever team has the highest average points will be the winning team, and those players on that team will compete in a multitude of challenges for the padlock.
Gotcha. So it kind of incentivizes people to get rid of their weakest links, and it incentivizes if I'm on Team Magenta and I win HOH, I'm incentivized to put the people who are performing the best from the other teams up for elimination. Because if one of them goes, then that takes off their points from like the average. So I think that's going to play a part. I think I would think that ultimately social connections would take priority over that, but I think that's definitely going to be interesting. And then it gives people an excuse to put people up. So like if I want somebody up who I know is good, but I just want them out of the game, I could just be like, "Hey, like no hard feelings. Like you were just doing really well, so I have to like make sure that I can look out for numero uno." So that's like good. I think this like works well for everybody, but depending on how smart people are about it, it might work for me better.
All right, and then one final question. You said Allison is your number one at the moment. You said you're pretty close with Angelica as well. Um, those are some people you are vibing with. Are there people that you're not vibing with where if you did win HOH, they might be on your radar?
There are people who aren't as active in the game. Everybody that I've talked to is cool. Like this is a very cool cast. However, Sim just reached out to me today for the first time, and we've been vibing through messages and stuff. But I had to pick the last like two between the last two people, Jess and Sim, and I do have a better relationship with Jess than I do Sim. So I definitely didn't want my team to be full of people that I would like because at some point we're probably going to have to evict somebody. So my logic was include somebody that my logic at the time was include somebody who would be like an easy boot being Sim, but now I'm questioning everybody's still voting, right? The teams don't. Let's see. The only twist is that whichever person wins HOH, their team is safe, but everybody would still vote when it comes to the eviction. So now that I'm thinking, right?
That is correct.
So I guess yeah, I could have just like picked people who I liked at this point, but hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I can pick like an easy boot, and I thought Sim was that easy boot to get out.
All right. Is there anything else on your mind that you want to talk about? This is your DR session.
Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna talk about a couple of my relationships. Me and Allison. Allison is like the funniest person in this fucking game. We literally are just like verbally abusive to each other in our chat, and I find it so endearing. I really get bored by like the fake, like super nice, like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, like wow, like blah blah blah. And so I feel like I picked my the people that I'm closest with to be the people that I'm like naturally flow with. So like Allison, we can just shoot the shit forever. Angelica, I know because we were in the final tribal council for a game called Utopia. We were number one allies at the end of the game. So there was like I think from Angelica's perspective, she's like, oh, obviously we're gonna work together. And at the beginning, I wasn't necessarily feeling that way, but I realized it's better to keep people who want to work with you close to you. There's no reason to burn a bridge. And then Colin likes the Hunger Games as much as I do, and we have a lot in common, so he's another person that I love. Other than that, I hope that I don't get screwed by this. I hope that people aren't comparing notes. But it's always good to start out strong, like no matter what. Like I can figure this shit out later. But that's it.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. Once again, congratulations on becoming a team captain and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks. I love you guys. Yahoo! See you guys later.